The mirror doesn't lie, but neither does it tell the whole truth. You stand before it each morning, and somewhere between the reflection and the coffee cooling on the counter, a war is already underway. Not with enemies outside, but with the restless ghost of comparison, the phantom of what others think, the echo of a life lived for applause that never arrives. Today, something shifts. Today, the blade turns inward, not as violence, but as precision. You will hear why the most radical act in a noisy world is to cultivate your own garden, while others argue about the neighbor's weeds. You will discover how a monk crossed a burning city without getting scorched, not because he was invincible, but because his attention belonged to him alone. This is the story of the one who stopped waiting for permission and started building the house from within. The enemy has a name: distraction disguised as duty. The illusion that your worth is measured by the scoreboard others invented. In the avenues where notifications rain like confetti, the mind becomes a plaza where everyone speaks and no one listens. You try to be good enough, fast enough, loved enough, but enough for whom? The exhaustion you feel is not from working. It's from performing for an audience that keeps changing the script. Buddhism whispers a truth that stings before it heals. No one is coming to save you. No rescue helicopter, no perfect guru with the final answer. Only you, your breath, and the choice repeated 1,000 times a day. Where does my attention go? That question is the hinge. Answer it with honesty and the door swings open. Ignore it and you stay locked in someone else's architecture. Picture a woman in a crowded train. Her phone buzzes. A message from someone comparing their vacation to hers. Another notification, a friend's promotion. A third, a stranger's opinion on something she said 3 days ago. Her pulse quickens, her chest tightens. She's no longer on the train. She's in a courtroom where she is both the accused and the jury, and the verdict keeps changing. This scene repeats in 10 million variations across the city. The details shift, the wound is the same. Buddhism names it craving and aversion, wanting what you don't have, rejecting what is. But underneath both, a deeper trap. The belief that your peace depends on controlling the external. It doesn't. It never did. There's an old story. A student asks the master, "How do I stop caring what people think?" The master replies, "First, stop thinking about what you think they think." The student blinks. The master continues, "You are not fighting their judgment. You are fighting the story you built from shadows and assumptions. Most of what you fear in others' minds is your own voice disguised. That voice can be met. It can be understood. It can be thanked for trying to protect you. And then, gently, it can be set aside like a coat that no longer fits. This is not cold detachment. This is warm clarity. The difference between ignoring others and simply not needing their approval to breathe. Focus on yourself does not mean selfishness. It means stewardship. You are the garden. If you don't water your roots, you have nothing to offer. If you exhaust your soil trying to bloom in someone else's season, you wither. There is no virtue in martyrdom that makes you bitter. There is no honor in neglecting your own dignity while chasing validation from strangers. The teaching is simple. Tend your inner ground. Pull the weeds of resentment, plant seeds of patience, fertilize with honest reflection, protect your boundaries like a gardener protects young shoots from frost. This work is not visible. It doesn't photograph well. It won't trend, and that is precisely why it matters. The urban monk wakes before the sirens. He does not check messages. He checks his breath. 3 slow cycles. Inhale, the chest expands. Exhale, the shoulders drop. He places one hand on his heart. A question forms, not as interrogation, but as compass. What needs attention today? Not what needs fixing in the neighbor, not what the algorithm demands. What in me asks for care? Sometimes the answer is rest. Sometimes it is action. Sometimes it is the courage to say no without a paragraph of justification. He writes the answer on a scrap of paper. He carries it in his pocket. Throughout the day, when the noise rises, he touches the paper. The gesture returns him, not to a monastery, to himself. There is science beneath the poetry. Neuroscientists studying attention have found what monks knew for millennia. The brain follows where focus leads. If you feed it comparison, it grows comparison circuits. If you feed it presence, it grows presence circuits. You are not stuck with the wiring you inherited. You are the electrician. Every time you catch the mind wandering to someone else's highlight reel and gently bring it back, you are rewiring. Every time you resist the urge to explain yourself to someone who didn't ask, you are rewiring. The transformation is not instant. It is cumulative, like water shaping stone, drop by drop, breath by breath, day by day. But the obstacles are real. Pride whispers that focusing on yourself is arrogant. Guilt insists you owe everyone your energy. Fear warns that if you stop performing, you'll be forgotten. These are not enemies. They are frightened children inside, voices that once kept you safe in a world that demanded conformity. Thank them. Then show them a different map. Pride, I hear you. I will honor myself without diminishing others. Guilt, I see you. I will help from fullness, not depletion. Fear, I acknowledge you. I will trust that those who matter will stay, and those who leave were never mine to hold. This internal dialogue is not weakness, it is mastery. A practice emerges, the daily audit, not as punishment but as inventory. At dusk, before the screen reclaims you, sit for 5 minutes. Ask 3 questions. Where did I give my power away today? What did I do that aligned with my values? What do I need to release before sleep? Write brief answers. No essays, just notes. This ritual trains the eye to see patterns. You notice you apologize when you haven't erred. You notice you chase approval from people whose opinion you don't respect. You notice you abandon your own projects to fix problems that aren't yours. Noticing is half the work. The other half is the decision, small and repeated, to choose differently tomorrow. There is a Zen image. A monk walks through a village on fire. People scream. Buildings collapse. He continues, steady, eyes forward. Later, someone asks, "How did you stay calm?" He replies, "I was not ignoring the fire. I was not adding my panic to the blaze. My clarity was my offering." In the modern city, the fires are different but no less real. Financial pressure, political rage, family drama, relationship turbulence. If you absorb every flame, you become ash. If you tend your inner stillness, you become water. Water doesn't fight fire by screaming. It cools by being itself. Focusing on yourself is not abandonment of the world. It is the refusal to become another source of heat. Boundaries are the architecture of self-focus. Without them, you are a house with open doors where strangers rearrange furniture. Boundaries are not walls, they are thresholds. They say, "Here is where I end and you begin. You may visit, but you do not live here. I care about you, but I am not responsible for your emotional weather." Setting boundaries feels violent at first, especially if you were taught that love means dissolving into others. But love without boundaries is not love, it is entanglement, and entanglement breeds resentment. Buddhism teaches metta, loving kindness, but it begins with yourself. May I be happy. May I be safe. May I live with ease. Only then does it extend. May you be happy. If you skip the first step, the second is hollow. Here is a concrete ritual. The boundary phrase. Craft one sentence that fits your life. Mine might be, "I honor your feelings, but I will not carry them for you." Yours might be, "I help when I can, but I rest when I must." Or, "I love you, and I also love myself enough to say no." Write it. Say it aloud until it feels true. When someone crosses your line, speak it. Calmly, briefly, without apology. Watch what happens. Some will respect it, others will test it, a few will leave. Let them. The ones who stay are the ones who see you as a person, not a function. That sorting is not loss, it is clarity. The comparison trap is seductive. Social media is its cathedral. You see a curated parade of victories, a promotion, a vacation, a perfect family photo. What you don't see is the argument before the photo, the debt behind the vacation, the anxiety beneath the promotion. But your mind doesn't care. It compares your messy reality to their polished fiction. And you lose every time. The antidote is not to quit the platforms, though that can help. The antidote is to change the question. Instead of, "Am I doing as well as them?" ask, "Am I doing what matters to me?" Instead of, "Why don't I have that?" Ask, what do I already have that I'm ignoring? Gratitude is not a platitude. It is a practice that rewires the comparative brain. Each night, name 3 things that went well. Not miracles. Small things. The tea was hot. The conversation was real. The walk cleared my head. This trains the mind to notice richness in the ordinary, and richness in the ordinary is freedom. There's a story of a farmer whose horse runs away. The neighbors say, "What bad luck." The farmer replies, "Maybe." The horse returns with wild horses. The neighbors say, "What good luck." The farmer replies, "Maybe." His son breaks his leg taming a wild horse. Bad luck? Maybe. The army comes to draft young men, but the son is spared because of his injury. Good luck? Maybe. The teaching is clear. You do not control outcomes. You control your relationship to outcomes. Focusing on yourself means dropping the obsession with labeling everything as victory or defeat. It means showing up, doing what you can, and releasing the rest. The world will do what it does. Your work is to remain centered while it does. Meditation is not escape, it is training. Sit for 10 minutes, just 10. Set a timer. Close your eyes. Follow the breath, in and out. The mind will wander within seconds. To the email, the argument, the grocery list. That's not failure. That's the mind being a mind. Notice it. Smile if you can. Return to the breath. This simple loop, noticing and returning, is the heart of the practice. You are training the muscle of attention. Each return strengthens it. After weeks, you'll notice something subtle. In daily life, when someone provokes you, there's a gap. A moment before reaction. In that gap, choice lives. You can respond instead of reacting. You can pause instead of exploding. That gap is gold. Meditation mines it. Self-focus also means self-forgiveness. You will stumble. You will snap at someone who didn't deserve it. You will waste a day scrolling. You will break a promise to yourself. The question is not if, but what you do next. Do you spiral into shame, or do you stand up, dust off, and begin again? Buddhism calls it beginner's mind. Each moment is a fresh start. You are not defined by your last mistake. You are defined by your willingness to keep showing up. Forgive yourself the way you would forgive a child learning to walk. Falls are part of the process. Cruelty to yourself is not discipline. It is sabotage. Speak to yourself as you would to someone you deeply love, because you are someone you should deeply love. The day unfolds with its tests. A colleague takes credit for your work. Instinct wants to fight, to call them out publicly. Pause, breathe, ask, what do I control here? You control your response. You can address it privately, clearly, without venom. You can document it for later. You can decide if this environment serves you. What you cannot control is their integrity. Focusing on yourself is not letting them win. It is refusing to let their behavior dictate your inner weather. You act from principle, not from wound. That is power. Another test. A friend cancels plans last minute. Resentment flares. They always do this. The story builds. Before it becomes a wildfire, pause. Ask, what is true right now? They canceled. I feel disappointed. What is not true? They don't care about me. They are selfish. You don't know their reasons. Maybe crisis, maybe exhaustion, maybe poor communication. None of that is yours to solve. Focus on yourself. You can express your disappointment calmly. You can decide how much energy this friendship deserves. You can choose not to make this one moment the referendum on their entire character. This is not excuse-making. This is accuracy. Accuracy prevents suffering. A third test. You scroll and see someone younger, more successful, doing what you dream of doing. The throat tightens. The inner critic wakes. You're too late. You're not good enough. You missed your chance. This voice is loud and familiar. Meet it with a question. Is this true or is this fear? Often it's fear wearing the mask of truth. Then ask, what is one thing I can do today toward my dream? Not 10 things. 1. Write one sentence, make one call, learn one skill. Take one step. Focus on yourself means comparing you to you. Yesterday's you, last year's you. Are you growing? Are you learning? Are you kinder to yourself than before? That is the only scoreboard that matters. There's a Tibetan practice called Tonglen, taking and sending. When suffering arises, instead of resisting it, you breathe it in. You imagine it as smoke. Then you breathe out relief, light, ease. It sounds counterintuitive, but it works. It transforms suffering from something to flee into something to metabolize. When you focus on yourself through Tonglen, you are not wallowing. You are processing. You are saying, "This pain is here. I will not pretend it isn't. I will sit with it, understand it, and let it move through me." Pain that is acknowledged softens. Pain that is denied hardens into bitterness. The transformation is not dramatic. There is no moment when clouds part and angels sing. It is quieter. You wake one day and realize you didn't check your phone first thing. You notice you set a boundary without rehearsing it. You catch yourself smiling at nothing in particular. These are the signs. Not fireworks, not applause. Just a steadiness, a groundedness, a sense that you are home in your own skin. This is the reward. Not external validation, internal alignment. The city remains loud, the demands remain, the people remain. But you are different. You walk through the noise with an invisible shield, not of arrogance, but of clarity. You know where you end and others begin. You know what is yours to carry and what is not. You know that your worth is not up for vote. You focus on yourself, not as narcissism, but as necessity. Because a lamp that is empty gives no light, and you were always meant to shine. This teaching is simple. Tend your garden, guard your attention, set your boundaries, forgive your stumbles, measure yourself against yourself. Let others walk their path while you walk yours. The world will try to distract you. It will offer shiny things, loud opinions, urgent crises that are not yours. Smile. Thank them. Return to your breath. Return to your values. Return to the quiet work that no one sees but everyone feels when you show up whole. If this resonates, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to continue this journey together, the art of living awake, focused, and free in the heart of the city. When you close this, take one slow breath. Place your hand on your heart, say softly, "I am enough. I am here. I begin again." And walk forward, not for applause, but for the simple dignity of being truly, finally, yourself.